Cow Silver. What a great name. Cow Silver. What a great name. My name's Luke Pretty, and your name is Cow Silver. I think we could be friends. Would you please explain the difference among, and we should say probably between instead of among, pail, bucket, bin? Which one is more commonly used? Okay. So I'm going to give my experience of these words to give you a sense of it. I don't think I can give you a very technical answer, right? I'm just going to give my experience. And it's an interesting question because they are kind of similar things. They are usually receptacles. They hold things. They generally have the same shape. They may even all have a handle, but not always. So I'm just going to give my sort of sense of these, and that's all I can do. Pail. When I think of a pail, I'm thinking of what I would call a small bucket, a very small bucket, no more than that big, okay? No more than that big, that I would carry maybe water in. Maybe I would carry or put sand in it, and it definitely always has a handle. And when I picture it in my mind, I think of either a metal one or a plastic one. And I remember when I was a little kid, I had a small, and I called it a sand pail. And I used it when I went to the beach to make sand castles. It was my sand pail, and I used it to make sand castles. And I would pack it with sand, and then I would flip it upside down and lift it up like that, and then it would leave a perfectly shaped thing unless it fell down or the water destroyed it. So pail, I think of that as a smaller sort of receptacle that is easy to carry around, that you use to kind of carry stuff, okay? Now how about bucket? A bucket, I think, also always has a handle. But when I think of a bucket, I'm thinking of something that is, or could be, much bigger. You could have a huge bucket of stuff that you carry around, like construction materials. Maybe you're a carpenter, and you carry around a bucket full of hammers and nails and wood and whatever stuff that you need if you're a carpenter. What do carpenters need? I don't know what carpenters need. Hammers. They just use hammers, right? Hammers and nails. That's all. So you've got a bucket full of hammers and nails, and it could be a huge bucket. It takes two hands to carry. Maybe you have to drag it, right? So I could imagine a bucket being fairly large. And I would say that a pail is a small bucket. A pail is a small bucket. That's what I would say. That's my sort of conception of those two and the difference between them. But then, for a bin, I would use, very generally, I think I would use bin to say something like a thing with either a square shape or a circular shape, and I'm talking about the bottom, the base, could be square, could be rectangular, could be circular. Whereas bucket and pail, I always imagine bucket and pail as a circular footprint. If you put them down in the sand, they leave a circular footprint. In my sort of mind, bucket and pail always have that circular shape, whereas bin might be rectangular at the base, it might be square, it might be oval shaped, it might be circular, whatever, right? And you just put a bunch of stuff in it. Now a bin, I don't imagine having a handle. A bin is a receptacle for things like trash. So a trash bin has a lid, and it may be very large. It may be not as big as this room, but maybe as big as my desk wide, and maybe as tall as me, and you throw a bunch of garbage into it. Well, that could be a bin, and I would call that a garbage bin. In fact, that's what I would probably do, a large garbage bin. You could say, I have in my house something that we use to put the recycling in. I call it the recycling bin. It doesn't have a handle. It's pretty large. It's square at the base. And I put recycling in it. I put metal and things that you recycle inside of it. So that's how I would use that. Now, I think that in England, bin is used more, especially for even smaller things, like a small trash thing. To hold trash would be a trash bin. Throw it in the bin. Throw it in the bin. If you look on your computer, you probably see bin as well. the word bin, if you pull things in to throw them away or delete them from your computer, it's probably bin. Let me see if mine says bin. No, it just says trash. Americans say trash. And sometimes we use can instead of bin. So instead of using bin for most things that we put trash in, Americans will use bin for something usually larger, a lot of clothes to donate, a lot of recycling, something quite large, and then for something small that you put under your table or in your house, in your bathroom, we might say can, or just trash, or sometimes basket. So sometimes Americans will use trash can, trash basket, or sometimes just the trash, put it in the trash, throw it in the trash. Whereas I think British people would say throw it in the bin, throw it in the bin, throw it in the trash, throw it in the trash can. British people say throw it in the bin. That's my general sense for these. I would look them up individually and look at the examples of each one, but that's sort of my sort of American view. Oops, sorry, my American view of these words. All right. Well, hopefully that's clear. Guys, make sure you, if you haven't already, I would really appreciate it, hit the like button. Subscribe, follow, and check out my full courses in the links in the description. They're on sale. So if you click on that link, you can get a discount. I believe it's 20% off any of the courses. Check it out.